So, that being said, many of you have been very patiently waiting for this panel. Let's get right into it. Published in the pages of Shonen Jump since 1997, Eiichiro Oda's long-running and beloved manga has been an equally long-running and beloved anime since its debut in 1999. Having long crossed the 1,000 episode threshold and being released in a live-action adaptation soon, the journey is still far from over. And our journey hasn't even begun yet because we still need members of the Straw Hat crew up here on the stage. So let's begin welcoming them up, beginning with someone that you know as Mitsukuni Haninozuka, aka Honey Senpai in Oran High School Host Club, Yuki Yoshino in Food Wars, Ochako Uraraka in My Hero Academia, and of course Nami in One Piece. Please welcome Luci Christian to the stage. All of you are great, so you get the awesome entrances all around because you've all been so wonderful here at Galaxycon, and thank you for joining us this weekend.
Well, thanks. I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can see everybody.
At least we're not being blinded by the light, well, like we were in some earlier panels, so right. you were very lucky. Yes. And also joining us on stage, you know them as Urza Scarlet in Fairy Tail, young Son Gohan and Son Goku in Dragon Ball, Momo Yaoyoroza in My Hero Academia, and of course Monkey D. Luffy in One Piece. Please welcome.
Okay, we're good.
These chairs have garnered some very interesting reactions from our guests all weekend, believe me.
Nervous about the table.
Well, thank you as well for joining us this weekend. It's great to have you both here, and it's great to be talking about such a wonderful and revered anime that is, as mentioned in the introduction, still going strong. So what I'd like to open up with, this is a question I'd love to posit to all of my voice acting guests for English language adaptation. And I know this is going to be a little bit different because all of you joined the Straw Hats journey a little bit later in the journey than you would have in other circumstances. But for you, what was the moment where it kind of clicked that there was something special or timeless here, whether it was well before you joined the journey or at some point during or after joining the journey?
That's hard, like when to pick that moment, right? I feel like we knew as we were auditioning for it that it was something other. We knew that it was supposed to be a big deal, and we were all very excited. There was a lot of buzz. But I would say that it wasn't until the advent of social media where everybody really got involved and it started to feel like we were all talking about it as a community that it really clicked that we were in it to win it. Like, it wasn't going to stop. We weren't going to stop dubbing it. America was really behind it. So I feel like social media is what picked it up and kind of gave it wings.
Yeah, and I love that Colleen talked about the auditioning process because everybody read for One Piece. Like, everybody read for it. And we did know. I mean, we knew that in the end, Toei was going to choose the main Straw Hat crew. And so we all auditioned here, but ultimately they chose us. And what an honor. I mean, for real, what an honor, like, to be a part of this franchise and this legacy. I mean, it lived before us and is its own awesome self in the Japanese, but we've gotten to be a part of carrying it to an American audience, and it's just a total trip.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
And speaking of the trip, what have been the most interesting parts of experiencing this trip, this journey in the time that you've been working on it? Either of you can take this to start.
You want to answer? I love that. Well, I'll tell you, an interesting part is there have been times when the show has gone on hiatus, and frankly, we didn't know we were gonna get to finish it. And so what is interesting to me is we have been doing this for about 16 years, been a part of the One Piece world. And in the last year and a half, A lot of you have been with the show for years and years, and it's like everybody is catching up now. And that is amazing. What a time to be a One Piece fan. Right? Like, oh my
Yeah, make some noise, y'all. Come on. We know y'all love One Piece. You're here.
so validating. I mean, it's just good. What do you think, Colleen?
But I think you're right that the pandemic, I feel like, is maybe where people had time to catch up. So that's where people were watching One Piece and really binging it. So it has that was like our personal time skip.
Yeah.
That's where after that it was a whole different fandom. But if we're talking about the actual like in the booth recording experience and not the experience as a One Piece community, then there's been a ton of really memorable things. For whatever reason, there's like that golden era of recording with Mike McFarland as our director, where we were just starting to kind of get in tune with what their senses of humor were. And there was like, there were just some sessions where it was me and Mike cracking each other up. Like when Luffy's running around looking for the raw ham melon. And like the little song he does about the North and the South, and when he almost thought he was gonna get to see a goat. And just those little golden moments that made us laugh, and a lot of inside jokes. So there was a lot of that. And then now when we're recording, we have 2 brand new directors, and specifically Anthony Bowling has kind of picked up the helm as the kind of the czar of One Piece at the moment in the Crunchyroll building, and he kind of breathed life back into it for us. And every time I go in, he's spoiling what's happening in the manga for me, so I know everything that's coming up. And he's excited about it in a way that you would really want your director to be excited about it. And so every time I get in the booth, I'm like, okay, what's happening?
Oh, yeah, we had someone clapping for that. So yeah, let's give some respect to that actually dovetails perfectly into the next question that I had for y'all. So what are some particular story moments that have resonated for you most, whether it was for your character or another character, or both? We are good with any of these answers.
Well, I am gonna say, so you may not know that, or you might, that we did things kind of out of order. We picked up where the 4 Kids dub left off, which was in the 100s episodes, and they were on a broadcast schedule, so they were on TV. So we had to pick up where they left off.
Like at Logtown.
Yes. So we were, and it was pretty funny because we had 3 different studios. We were talking about this yesterday. 3 different studios suddenly working on this, trying to catch up so we could make the broadcast schedule. And we were running from studio to studio going, how are you saying this island name? We don't know, like just figuring it out, right? So we didn't go back and start at episode 1 until a year or 2 later. So I did not see Arlong and that arc until after we had already been voicing stuff. Like we had been in the show. So when I watched all of that and saw all of that and got to live that, it was like, oh, that helps. Like that makes their relationship so different for me. I get it. Like I get it. She's gonna yell at him forever, but she'll also follow him to the end, forever, right? So like. Good luck. Now you go.
I'm tearing
No
up.
pressure.
I just started watching the series with my son. He's 8. And we started at episode 1, and we just got to Skypiea, so that is really fresh for me. Like the Nami stuff is very fresh, and it meant it was my son watching the show and me watching him. Like and oh gosh, yeah, that stuff that was really sweet and wonderful and awful and like scarring. Yeah. Okay, so I forgot the question because that was the whole thing.
No, it's okay.
What were the
Particular story moments that resonated the most for you, whether it's your character, others, or both.
I mean, yes, and I think everybody's origin really hit home. Well, for the most part. So it was like Nami and Robin and Brooke all have these things that just like, drag you through the mud and like make you love them and want only good things for them. And then Luffy is like, I'm climbing out of a barrel! But it's lovely to go back every now and again and get bits from his earlier self. And I think like the film Red was great for that. It gave you more of him as a child, which I think we all kind of needed in our lives. But I think that for me, Mary, I'm trying not to spoil stuff. I'm just saying names. Mary, and along with that, Usopp. And then Sanji, and that moment. You're with me? And then right now, what's happening with the Wano arc is just everything. And the Wano arc cannot be beat. That's my favorite arc for sure, and everything's happening in Onigashima, I will love forever.
Also, speaking of moments, because I've already told this to Colleen, Whole Cake Island, I enjoyed so much. Nami with a Vivra card is super fun. But there is
We're like speaking in code.
I know. See, if you're not there, you do not know. You're not spoiling it.
There are definitely audience members who know because I was seeing some visible reactions here. I'm like, yep, they know.
But I told my friend here that she made me cry because there's a moment where Luffy is yelling, "I'm not gonna eat," and I was losing my mind. Like, I thought it was so good. Sanji is just, it's so good.
Sanji, that hurt.
That literally hurt her though.
Yeah.
Because like,
that was just sustained yelling. That hurt. That's probably the most physically taxing thing in the whole show so far.
There you go. So I have one more question before we open it up to our audience Q&A. We've touched on this a little bit in some of these answers, but to go a little bit deeper, what are elements of your characters that you enjoy the most?
I got this. Yeah, for sure. Without a doubt, the main thing that I love about Luffy is how much he lives in the moment. Beyond any other anime character I know, specifically protagonists who are terrible at this, he just lives. He does not let the past. He has a lot of stuff that has happened in his past, and it does not affect his present. He lives completely in the moment, and he has a goal, which is good, but it doesn't affect his present. He will stop and focus on what's happening here rather than go off in pursuit of the goal and ignore what's happening here. And he just is, that's who I would like to be as a person more, is somebody who is capable of just being completely present and understanding what is important right now. And that's just, I hope my son is soaking that up.
Aww.
like that Nami just is not concerned with what people think about her. I like that she's a really strong personality. She's really herself. She likes what she likes. I don't know, like you can take the girl out of Kokoyashi Village, but she's gonna be a cat burglar every day. It does not matter what happens. Like, she's gonna love the pursuit of treasure. She's gonna enjoy the adventure. I think she loves the little family, the found family she has. And again, she's gonna yell at them every day. But she would go down with them. And I just love that about her. Like, it's nice to have a female character. I love people who try to ship her with everybody, but to be honest, she doesn't need it. You know, she really doesn't. And I just love that about her. She's just herself. She's unapologetic. I like it.
Did I tell you how much Rhodes wants Sanji and Nami to be a thing?
Oh, I love that so much.
Sanji is like crushing on Nami, and Rhodes is a little romantic, so he was, that's my son. So he was like, I think Sanji has a crush on Nami. I was like, I think Sanji has a crush on everyone.
You're not wrong.
He was like, I wish Nami liked Sanji back. I feel bad for Sanji. I'm like, oh, it's never gonna happen. He started off the series saying, do Luffy and Nami marry? I was like, hard no. And he has never stopped shipping since. It was Vivi and Zoro, and then Vivi and Ace, and then it was Luffy and Nami, and then Sanji and Nami, and he's just waiting for somebody to hook up.
Bless. I'll wait a while.
Yeah, I know. From Oda's own mouth, it's like, that's not the thing.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for these awesome answers. For those of you who would like to ask some questions, we have a microphone right up here. We will try our best to get through as many as possible.